All right, everyone. In today's morning recap, I'm going to cover a couple things that happened in chat today. And again, I'm trying to get newer people up to speed on the kind of setups we look for and hopefully do a decent job of explaining the post or the idea. Or sometimes it's just a post and the idea is understood by most, but newer people don't know, what the heck's going on in the room yet with terminology and that sort of thing. So that's what these videos are about, to get people up to speed. So this is pre-market VS. There's a symbol right there. At 7 a.m., this candle started up, and then that, if you notice, a couple minutes into that candle, I typed this out in chat. VS PM high was 203. Pre-market high was 203. Recent high, and that means on the daily chart 208, and the 200 days at 235. So that's me pointing out three potential reasons why this thing might move. If it breaks 203 and it had volume coming in. I actually took this before it broke 2, thinking, well, we get the whole number break, then you got the 203, and then let me go to the daily here and see this high right here. That was the 208 I was talking about. So we look to the left on the daily chart, and then I'll have to make this chart small so you can see the 200 day up here. I don't have the 200 day on this chart, but I do on this one, was 234, 235 at the time. So if you took it on 203 or the 2 break, and either way, it went all the way up to, it did actually break that 200 day, all in pre-market. So you had a whole number inflection point with 2 nearby catalysts, 203 and 208, and then the 200 day, which is 235 at the time, could act like a magnet, and that's why I put the 200 day up there. And I actually sold some. My best sell was 234. Had it sitting there right at the 200 day. So that's the explanation of what I meant in pre-market on that VS post, and I had a nice trade on it. And then over the mic this morning, you can see Tesla had this gray area is pre-market. So Tesla had this big pop in pre-market. I stole this from my morning gap play explanation. This was the headline on Tesla, right? So it had a big rip. So I threw it on the gap playlist as well. So let me get pre-market off. Well, first let me point out, I'll zoom in. The pre-market high, and this is relevant, was $223 to the penny, okay? Now just to simplify things, I'm just gonna take pre-market off and zoom in a bit here. So then over the mic, I pointed out at the top at 221.50. As I hover over the candle, you can see the high of day will highlight right there. 221.50. We always talk about half numbers and whole numbers. So over the mic, I pointed out the 221.50, which it also hit on this second candle. I basically pointed out, I think I said over the mic, that Tesla is honoring, right? It's acting well. It's honoring half numbers and whole numbers because 221.50 was the high. And then I basically said if it gets through that, you've got 223, which is only $1.50 away, which is like one tick for Tesla, right? 223 was the pre-market high. So we know it's honoring half numbers and whole numbers, so it's acting well. Shorts in trouble, right? And they had the good news in pre-market. So the idea was over the 221.50, which it broke right there. The worst case stop's going to go right below that green candle, somewhere around 218.80 maybe. Which is, it sounds wide, but for Tesla, it's not. So from the 221.50 break, so far, it's gone up to it's gone almost $10 and actually holding up very, very well. I saw some people bidding on pullbacks here too. I love to see that. So that was a scenario where we had a morning gap play on a big name stock with big news, and half numbers and whole numbers were relevant, right? 223 pre-market high, 221.50 the early high. So my thinking was, if you break that early high, you're probably going to break the pre-market high, and then it's just off to the races. And you can see the daily here, the big breakout going on. Hit me up if you have any questions on that.